Ever since James Bond coasted a gorgeous grey DB5 through the Swiss Alps in Goldfinger, Aston Martin has become a household name. The British car maker is the benchmark for high-quality craftsmanship and sophistication, making them well-known and sought-after worldwide. However, these beautiful cars are not just pretty to look at, and Aston Martin is perfectly comfortable on the racetrack and at the car show. Why else would Bond drive one? The DB5 that featured in the infamous spy film had a top speed of 143 miles per hour, which was a blistering pace back in 1964. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 fastest Aston Martin sports cars ranked. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome auto guides, and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know when we publish a new video. So now let's cut to the chase. At 10, 1993 Aston Martin V8 Vantage, 186 miles per hour. In 1987, Ford decided to buy Aston Martin. This was huge news for the British car maker, as it gave Aston Martin access to resources that could typically only be used by major auto manufacturers. Perhaps the most famous car to come from this was the 1993 Aston Martin V8 Vantage. Bearing a slight resemblance to the Virage, the Vantage struck out to become a wickedly fast sports car and did nothing but succeed. With its iconic 5.3-litre V8 churning out a monstrous 557 horsepower, the V8 Vantage could achieve speeds up to 186 miles per hour. Built to devour long stretches of highway as a grand tourer and paired with a body that immediately demands your attention, the V8 Vantage became an instant classic. At 9, Aston Martin DB7 Vantage Zagato, 186.4 miles per hour. In the early 90s, Aston Martin wanted to make a smaller sports car to stand alone among the V8 models. The DB7 was the result of this desire, and the beautiful sports car knocked it out of the park. The DB7 was Aston Martin's highest production car when, in 2003, the British car maker teamed up with Italian coach builder Zagato to create the DB7 Vantage Zagato. This variant of the DB7 was not designed to keep up with other V8 Astons. It was designed to leave them in the dust. The beastly V12, churning out 440 horsepower, kept the DB7 well ahead of its V8 cousins by achieving a top speed of 186.4 miles per hour. The DB7 Vantage Zagato is very rare and exclusive, with only 99 models being manufactured by Aston Martin. At 8, Aston Martin V8 Vantage, 195 miles per hour. There's no question that when Aston Martin uses the name Vantage, they mean business. The name has been a synonym for speed and performance since the very first V8 Vantage hit the streets in 1977. Even now, in 2023, the Aston Martin V8 Vantage is still living up to its name. The newest model, introduced to the world in 2018, has a 4-litre V8 that can send the Vantage up to 195 miles per hour in no time at all. The fantastic speed and performance of the Vantage granted the sports car the privilege of being honoured with a James Bond-themed 007 edition. This was partly thanks to the Vantage's history in the franchise, as well as a reputation for class and sophistication. Much like myself. At 7, Aston Martin Vantage GT8, 195 miles per hour. While Aston Martin is certainly capable of producing quiet, luxurious cars that only subtly draw your attention, they are also certainly able to do the opposite. The Vantage GT8 is a perfect example of Aston Martin's ability to defy the quiet and gentlemanly stereotype. Boasting a more aerodynamic body and a massive wing, the Vantage GT8 was built to show the world that Aston Martin can still build race cars. A 440 horsepower V8, along with improved aerodynamics and reductions in weight, catapult the GT8 to speeds upward of 195 miles per hour. In order to achieve these speeds, Aston Martin certainly had to sacrifice some comfort and luxury. Racing seats lock the driver into position, the steering wheel is thinner so that it can be gripped better, and the cabin is sparsely equipped with only the required equipment, so no radio for you then. At 6, Aston Martin Vanquish Zagato, 201 miles per hour. While the Aston Martin Vantage was performing excellently, the British car maker wanted to introduce another sports car that slightly raised the stakes. Enter the Aston Martin Vanquish. Brandishing a 5.9-litre V12, the Vanquish quickly became a beloved member of the Aston Martin lineup. Of course, this adoration resulted in several different models of the Vanquish, including a collaboration with Zagato once again. While this special edition Vanquish still featured the same V12 engine, allowing the sports car to accelerate to speeds of up to 201 miles per hour, Zagato made sure to distinguish it from the base model. The Italian coach builders equipped this Aston Martin with several cosmetic details that make the sports car stand out, from the accented bright red interior stitchwork to the striking leather seats. Next up at 5, Aston Martin V12 Vantage S, 205 miles per hour. Aston Martin knew that the V8 Vantage would be a success. The purring V8 under the hood was a beauty and definitely quick, but was still able to be tamed after a bit of time behind the wheel. The V12 Vantage, however, is a different animal, literally. Wild and fierce, the sports car is an absolute delight for any car lover to drive. Once Aston Martin saw how well the V12 Vantage performed, they were quick to release an S model. The new Vantage comes with a huge 565 horsepower engine, launching the Aston Martin to speeds of up to 205 miles per hour. This speed also comes with some sporty flair throughout the interior and exterior that lets everyone know, including the driver, that they are in for a treat. Next up at 4, Aston Martin Rapide AMR, 205 miles per hour. Being a four-door sports car would typically result in a lack of speed and power, especially when compared to lighter two-door models that dominate this list. However, this is not the case with the Aston Martin Rapide AMR. The Rapide was introduced in 2010. The AMR, Aston Martin racing model, emerged as a high-performance version in 2018. Aston Martin countered the slight weight increase in the Rapide AMR with a 6-litre V12, providing a breathtaking 580 horsepower and allowing the four-door sports car to reach speeds upward of 205 miles per hour. It's also a very pretty car to look at. Carbon fibre can be spotted in just about every crevice, inside and out, and the interior is dotted with AMR-specific details. Now at 3, Aston Martin DB11 AMR V12. 208 miles per hour. The DB11 is another beloved member of the Aston Martin family, introduced in 2016 as the newest DB Aston Martin. As the world was slowly falling in love with the newest Aston Martin over time, the British car maker was working on something extraordinary. Once again, Aston Martin dealt the AMR title, this time to the DB11. The DB11 AMR V12 took everyone's breath away thanks to its rugged good looks and absolutely blistering speed. The DB11's profile oozes sophistication out of every nook and cranny, while also being extremely aerodynamic and essentially gluing the Aston Martin to the pavement at high speeds. The real prize, however, is the engine. A twin-turbocharged V12 gives the DB11 AMR a monstrous 630 horsepower and can send the sports car to speeds upward of 208 miles per hour. And now, at number 2, Aston Martin DBS Superleggera, 211 miles per hour. The Aston Martin DBS Superleggera is a somewhat recent addition to the British car maker's lineup, but it has quickly risen to become one of the most popular sports cars in the Aston Martin family. Competing with the Aston Martin Vanquish, the DBS Superleggera had some large shoes to fill. 5 years later, there's no question that the sports car succeeded, even going so far as to surpass the Vanquish's impressive top speed. The beloved twin-turbocharged V12, combined with a lightweight body and other mechanical trickery, allows the DBS Superleggera to reach a top speed of 211 miles per hour. Aston Martin quickly picked up on the DBS's popularity, producing several different variants to interest as many potential buyers as possible. Some of these variants include a Tag Heuer edition, a Zagato model, and a whopping 2 James Bond-themed 007 editions. And finally, at number 1, drumroll please, Aston Martin 177, 220 miles per hour. If someone is looking for the ultimate combination of exclusivity, speed and sophistication, the Aston Martin 177 is exactly what they are looking for. The sleek styling of the hypercar demands the attention of everyone it passes and easily holds their focus while flying around the track. The truly phenomenal 7.3-litre V12 launches the Aston Martin 177 to jaw-dropping speeds of around 220 miles per hour. The 177 is not just a high-performance sports car, however, it's a work of art. The beautiful styling inside and out makes it one of the most beautiful Aston Martins to date. Of course, this speed and luxury comes at a price, and in the case of the 177, it's an eye-watering $1.75 million. And there you have the 10 fastest Aston Martin sports cars ranked. Did you like what you saw? I know I did. Let us know in the comments down below. Share this video with your Aston Martin loving friends and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fantastic auto guides. See you next time.